Hello everyone, today we're doing our first unboxing of two different portable emulator devices. One of them is called the RG350, which came out, I would say, about 8-9 months ago, late last year. And we're also going to be talking about the new RG280M. M stands for metal, it's a metal casing. They're one of the best emulator devices out there in the world. A company called Anbernic in China, of course. You know, that's mainly where they're manufactured. So there are some good things and some bad things, and we can also compare this to the portable emulator market and see what the differences are and see if this is something that you guys want to check out. So let me go ahead and start unboxing the first one. We're going to be checking out the RG350. Has a nice little padding, you can see, protecting the device on transportation and delivery. Very firm, very nice and soft. Okay, we have the portable emulator device. We got some instruction manuals. Now they had come in a couple colors, of course. I didn't get this orange in black mix. Kind of nice, but I didn't go for that one. I just got the see-through black one, and you'll get to check that out in a second. And we got the power cable, which is a USB-C to USB-A for charging and for adding your own ROMs. Okay, so let's go and put all this to the side. And let's check out this device. Now, I already added some ROMs to it, so we could just take a look at the looks of it. Now, you can see that it has a nice, sleek look to it. It has dual speakers on the bottom. You have a power button right here. You got your TF memory card, your ROMs, and also your additional apps that you want to install, like emulator apps or even programs. You got your volume rocker, you got the reset button here. On the sides, you don't have anything on the sides as you can see here. But the cool thing about this, you have dual buttons. You get the R1, R2 and L1, L2, and you also have USB 1 and USB 2 and also an HDMI output for if you want to connect it to an external display and your, of course, audio jack. One of the things I read is about the HDMI port. It doesn't work out of the box. You're going to have to upgrade the firmware. Now, just talk about this device. It's give you some specifics on this device. It's a 3.5-inch IPS screen, 60 Hz refresh rate. It's very compact. It's very compact, very lightweight. It's I think half a kilogram or so. 0.50 kilogram. This is perfectly designed to, let me raise the brightness a little bit on this one. It's perfectly optimized to work with PS1 games, Dreamcast games to an extent, not fully supported. It works with the Neo Geo, it works with the NES, Super NES, you got the Sega, Genesis ROMs. You also got the MAME arcade emulator. You got a few others, and I've downloaded a custom emulator, so I could show you what I have so far. So we got the MAME, Atari 5200, which there is a website you could download this. Does not come standard out of the box. You got this Amstrad emulator. Don't know much on that. I haven't really done much with that yet. Of course, you got the famous NES Famicom emulator. You got the arcade emulator app, DOSBox emulator. Of course, you got your Game Boy Color emulator, your Game Boy emulator. You got your Genesis Plus emulator. You got some called Open Board Engine. I think this might be some custom for a platform. I can't remember. Of course, you got your classic Intellivision, your Atari Lynx emulator, which is kind of nice to have. You got this WonderSwan emulator, Oswan, and you got your famous PlayStation 1 emulator, works spectacular, full speed. Got your Mega Drive Genesis emulator. You got your Game Boy Advance emulator, Neo Geo Pocket, Super NES emulator. You also got your SMS, I believe this is TurboGrafx 16. You got another NES emulator. You got your Atari 2600. You got the ZX Spectrum, which is really classic. You have a lot of, there's a lot of collection of ROMs out there. You got the PC Engine emulator, TI-99, which is a classic system. I think they had that back in the mid-late 80s, I believe, maybe early 90s or so. And you got the Commodore 64, which I'm big at. This actually is an awesome emulator. It works with the 64 and 128, VIC-20, even the PET systems. That's pretty amazing how it works. You got the Neo Geo emulator, you got the MAME, and that's pretty much it. So, and the games, of course, there's a lot of built-in games that comes with this device from China. Of course, you can see some of them right here. I do like this Astrolander. It's a pretty basic game, but it's really fun and exciting. It comes with like some custom Doom game. It's more like a first-person shooter. And of course, this is not standard. This is something you could have to download off a third-party site. It's a Quake 2. It works great. It's an awesome emulator system, and it works well. It's full of speed, actually. And you got some other ones here to play around with. Get your settings. I haven't updated the firmware, so it's just out of the box, whatever was shipped to me several months back. Get your menu system, network configuration. You can reboot it, power off, sound mixer, system information. The CPU is a 1 gigahertz CPU. It's 512 megs of memory. Comes in crystal black, gray, or black. Of course, I'm not sure. This is more like a see-through black. I don't know if this is called a crystal. What does it say on the box? Doesn't really say, but it's a transparent black is what I got. I think it's kind of cool. It's not too distracting. I mean, you can see some internal electronics in here, but I mean, I think it's fine. I don't see a problem. It comes with a default 16 gig integrated for the for the BIOS. And for the firmware, they put a sticker on it. It's actually inside here, so you have to take it apart if you want to actually mess with it. I recently put a 256 gig card in here, and it works great. I don't see any issues with that. It works fabulous. So let's go ahead and check out a few emulators. Why not? All right. So let's check out the NES emulator. Of course, I have quite a few games here. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games in here. I have a collection of ROMs over the years, of course. The last 20 years I've been collecting ROMs, so you get to see the standard, Super Mario World, how that works. Let me turn up the volume a little bit so you can hear it. Actually, it works pretty good, full speed. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. I guess it got me again. I'm not good with Mario. Alright. Full speed, no issues, very very fluid animation, no skipping. There might be some little tearing on the side, but that's the normal for most emulators. They're not always, you know, like the best out there, but they're pretty good for what it's worth. Alright, let's go ahead and add another ROM here. Load ROM. It's loading the browser right now. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Media, ROMs. Okay, let's try, I don't know. Super Mario Brothers. There we go. An awesome, awesome game. Classic, I must say. Guess I went too far. So, yeah, it works good. Let's see what else is out here. Alright. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Wow, we got Jurassic Park on here. I don't think I ever played this game before. Some of the movie games back in the day were kind of cheesy, but some were okay. Let's just check it out. Let's see what this game is about. Alright, we got a dinosaur chasing us. Gotta get out of here, guys. Alright. Oh, we got a raptor here. Can we go inside here? No, I can go upstairs. Guys, I'm getting hit pretty bad. They're all over the place here. I got electrocuted. another one. Let's see if there's another one we can actually try. What do we have here? Well, we got Ultimate Air Combat. Let's try at 14. This is kind of cool. I had one on my radar. Now, all these little ROMs that you probably would play or even install, they're going to be arcade-based simulators, or it could be you know, more like platform games that you'll see quite a bit. They work pretty well for the most part. Now, sometimes you have options and settings in the emulators. You could change like the video setup. You could skip frames. You could do all sorts of stuff in some of these emulator configuration settings here. Controller mapping setup. You also have option to turn on PAL or NTSC, especially if you have the updated firmware. You could actually connect it to an external display and so forth. So I'm going to get out of here and exit this emulator. What we want to do here is look at another one here. I installed the Commodore 64 because everyone's been asking me about that. Now you have options to emulate C64, DirectTV, 128, CBM11, Commodore PET, Plus4, and the VIC-20. I have ROMs for pretty much all of them, but we're just going to stick with C64. That's the system I grew up with, and that's where I have the most collection. The thing about this ROM pack here is that if you have, see, for me, I have 17,000 ROMs for the Commodore 64. But the thing is, you can't just put them all in one folder because the system itself is not going to, you know, be able to read the amount of ROMs. So you might have to split them up like I did in folders of 2,500 per folder, just to make it easier for it to browse. I think it's select auto image. We have to go back one step. I have one subcategory called Media 350M, which is my external SIM card, ROMs, and you can see I have broken up with C64, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll stick with the first one. It might take a few seconds to load. Alright, what do we want to play? I got quite a few good games here. Let's see, is there one like an Area 51 maybe? I used to play this game called Ace Air Combat Emulator. That was a kind of fun game. Ace 2. Let's try Ace 2. Now, I would say about 95% all emulators will work fine. I say about 5% more or less they'll have trouble with the configuration of the emulator. So I think you may be able to play most of them. I think, or I mean, of course, most of them, meaning like almost all of them. There might be just a few that you may have some issues with on the quality. Now, all these ROMs, have been cracked. Now, you could actually add a virtual keyboard on the Commodore 64 one by going to the options, virtual keyboard, and you could actually choose whatever you need to do. Let me see if I can get through this. I'm trying to figure out how to start this game. Now you could add an external keyboard, I think through the USB. Alright, Let's see if this thing works. Now this Ace 2, I think this is actually a 2-player game. So 1 player, so we need to go back to the virtual keyboard. Yes, it is for 1 player. Infinite shafts, sure, why not? Infinite, yes, yes. These are okay, yes. Options from 2, no, we're not going to play 2 players. Alright, let's take off. Now, this is an old classic game I used to play. It was more of a co-op game. Now, I don't know how you would actually play 2 players on the small screen with your buddy, but you could go head-to-head combat or the computer. It depends on how you set up the configuration. You have guns, and I think you also have missiles after you get a lock. You can, you know, speed up, slow down. Now, some of the you can see the analog controllers here may not be function unless they're mapped in the configuration, but you just use like the D-pad. So, I mean, it's an awesome game. You know, I mean, you have tons of ROMs you could try, and I think pretty much 95% of them all work fine. Some of them have some issues, so I highly recommend downloading the C64, which is the Vice emulator, and that would play your Commodore ROMs. Of course, you got the MAME. You also got others too here. So I mean, we can do Game Boy Advance. Well, let's see. Let's see the Game Boy emulators to show you what it looks like. Now it's going to crop the screen to mimic the the Game Boy emulator because of the resolution it has to be compliant with. So you can see how they did this. Now I actually passed this game like over 20 years ago. This is one of the first cool portable Mario that ever came out in the early 90s. I enjoyed this game. Enjoyed playing this over the years, over and over and over, of course. But I think you could quit the game, and I think if you go back, you could choose any other ROMs you want to play for the Game Boy, and they all work flawlessly. I don't see any issues with the. I mean, if you're a Castlevania fan, or if you're a fighter person likes to play those fighting games, they all work well. Works full speed, no issues. So if you're ever going on a little car ride trip for if you're a youngster or even an adult, this is a great companion device. Very lightweight to carry. You just need one machine to take with you on a trip, and this would be the highly recommended machine to take, the RG350. Let's quit. So, all the games work great. Awesome system. I would say this is #1 compared to all the portable emulators out there. It's a 3.5 IPS screen. The view angles are spectacular. Highly recommend this. So let's go ahead and shut this one off, and we're going to go ahead and unbox the next system, which is the RG280M. Now the difference between the RG280M is that it's a metal frame, and it's pretty heavy duty, but I think it's great. I mean, of course. Now, if you want to see what's inside the box, it's going to come with the same stuff: cable, charging cable, and the transfer cable, and a manual. Open this one up here. So actually, it's a 2.8-inch IPS screen. It's a nice red blue gradient color, dual speakers. You have your TF external memory SIM here for additional games, ROMs. You got the firmware operating system card in here. They put a sticker here, and if you take it out, voids the warranty, but who's really going to return this? The price is pretty reasonable. You got your power button on the left side. You got your volume rocker on the right side. You got your OTG and your USB DC cable, your charging cable, as well as a ROM transfer cable, and you got your audio jack. And you got a nice little rubber grips in the back. It's really amazing, especially when your hands start sweating playing for long hours. This is gonna give it more traction, so you don't drop your nice little emulator machine here, because you don't want to damage it, of course. Of course, made in China. Battery lasts up to 6 hours on this guy. It's spectacular. It's superb. Now, I would say this is one step better than the 350 just because it's a metal casing. The screen itself, it's fully laminated to the system, so there's no dust particles that's going to go underneath the screen. There's no gaps anywhere. Nice IPS display for wide angle viewing. The difference is, of course, you have two analog joysticks. You got one here and a D-pad. This is great for platform games just because you don't have anything obstructions on the right side. So it works great with all games. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even PlayStation games. This is, I would say, highly recommended for PlayStation 1. Same with the RG350. They have both the same processors, same amount of memory. There's no difference. It's just this is metal. It's custom differently with the joystick analog button. Now, of course, you can see the button itself here is going to be more receded to the casing, so you could easily put it in your pocket and it won't grab anything. Now you can see the button here sticks out more. So yeah, I mean, this might be a little bit more portable because you can put this in your pants pocket and you're not going to cause any issues with the joystick. So that's maybe another good difference between them two. Now, I haven't done anything custom on here, of course. I might have added maybe a few configuration changes, but I haven't added any ROMs whatsoever. I haven't done anything. This is all factory default. I have not added anything custom to this. Like I said, all ROMs work on the 350, will work on the 280, and just remember that they both use the same chipset and also the same operating system. I think it's called Open Unix or something. Now this is a Game Boy Advance title. Oops, I don't mean to press that. Now I think there's a color Donkey Kong version here, so let's do that. Let's get out of here. Let's quit here. We're going to try Yoshi's Island. Let's see how the 3D performance is on this. Let's raise the volume. Sounds really good. Wow, works really well. I don't really see any performance issues. Works wonderful. Anyway, if you like any of my videos, if you like my open box videos of the 350M, I'm sorry, the 350 or the 280M, go ahead and please give me a thumbs up. And also, if you want to see future unboxing videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a good one.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up.